Hello and welcome to this lecture on MLA format, as well as finding resources for your Hungry Planet essays. The first thing you'll notice in an MLA formatted document is that you're going to have your last name and page number in the top corner of the document. You can do that by hitting the Insert tab in Word and then moving over to the page number insert. Click on that and it'll allow you to choose where to insert the page number, and you can type your name previous to that number. Then you'll also notice that there's some specific information that we work with. We're going to have your name coming first, then the instructor's name, the class, and the date. We'll notice that the date is written in an odd manner. You will have the day first, and then the month, and then the year. You'll then move on to your title. The title is going to be centered. It's going to be the same text size and font as the rest of the essay. You want to have an engaging title that's short and gets your reader's attention. So if you think in terms of a movie title, it's short, it's interesting, and it tells the reader a little bit what's coming next. Then we move on to the body paragraphs. We make sure that these are double-spaced, Times New Roman font. That font is 12-point size, and that the beginning of each paragraph line is indented 1 tab space or 1/2 inch. Now, if we think in terms of traditional essay format, we will have an introduction that provides a hook of some kind, sets up context for our analysis, and then provides a clear and concise thesis statement that will create the organizational structure for the rest of the essay. Once you've created your introduction and all the body paragraphs, you'll want to make sure that you're identifying the sources that you've used as a part of this project. So you will have to have a works cited page for this assignment, and you will have multiple sources on this page. A whole document, so you're going to have your last name and the page number at the top of this as well. So if you wrote 5 pages, this would be page 6. Your title is work cited, not references. It's going to be centered. It's going to be the same font and style as the rest of the text. Then you're going to go ahead and provide the citation for the source you're using. Now there are a couple sources I want to talk to you a little bit more about. The first thing that's going to appear in this page, of course, though, is a citation for the Hungry Planet essay, or book, rather. So make sure that you're providing for the Hungry Planet book an MLA formatted citation, as well as the websites that you find as you do some research. Speaking of research, let's go ahead and look at some of the options you have for this essay. The first place I would suggest that you start researching your country to find some background and context before you start analyzing the image is the CIA World Factbook. This is a great repository of information and gives you kind of the quick and dirty information on each of the countries. Sorry, I have 2 dogs. They are unhappy that I'm spending more time with the computer than with them, so if you hear weird noises in the background, it's the dogs. So when you get to the CIA World Factbook, you'll select a country from the drop-down list. You should be able to find all of the ones from our book here in that list. Once you've selected your country, I've grabbed Ecuador here for you as an example, you can see maps that show you where it's at, you can see their flag, and then you also have a lot of different categories of information you can pull from. So there's a short introduction. You can talk about geography, people and society, government, economy, etc. So all of this is going to be really helpful as you set up the context for your analysis. So I'd highly recommend using the CIA World Factbook as one of your sources. The CBC databases provide us with a lot of other really excellent ways of gaining information. So if you go to the Columbia Basin College page and you click on the Library tab up here, then you'll get to see all of the things that the library has to offer. What I'd like to call your attention to is this references section right down here. So if you click on the Oxford reference, you will see it gives you a link to a whole bunch of reference books like encyclopedias, dictionaries, World Factbooks, things along that nature. So then you'd go into the search bar here, type in your country, and once again you would get a whole list of options where you can start learning a little bit more about the country, whether it's politics, whether it's the bios from an encyclopedia, a guide to countries of the world, a dictionary. All of these would be great things to use in order to give yourself some context for your country as you're working on this essay. You can also use the PowerPoint we've gone over in class as one of your sources if you'd like to reference visual elements and or rhetorical analysis elements as well. So those are some places you can get started with this essay when you're looking for research to back up your claims. The Oxford Reference is a great place, as is the World Factbook by the CIA. These are some of the things you'll need to know as we go into the essay, so let me know if you have any questions by reaching out via email. We don't have class on Monday as it's a holiday, but we'll be back together on Tuesday to talk more about this essay and how all of these pieces will come together as a part of a whole. So my best advice would be to work on finding some sources over the weekend. Perhaps start writing the introductory paragraphs and the first paragraph or two of the essay as you have a couple extra days this weekend because we didn't meet in class today and we have Monday off. So use the time wisely, try and get a head start on this work as we will be peer reviewing these essays on Wednesday. Final thing I want to share with you is just a brief way that you could potentially find this essay. Let me start a new document for you here. As we talked about, this essay is going to follow a pretty standard format here. We are going to talk about an introductory paragraph. You want to have a hook, provide context for your country and your analysis, and then provide a highly specific thesis statement. Once you've done that, you're going to move into the first body paragraph. That first body paragraph is going to be a paragraph of summary and context. So you want to use your descriptive language to paint a word picture of the image you chose. So if you chose the one from Ecuador, use all your language skills to describe how the image looks, what kind of colors are at play, how things are centered. Just give your reader a chance to see the picture through your words. Then you're going to want to give some cultural or geographic or economic, whatever you think is most relevant. Provide some of that information in this paragraph as a part of your analysis. Then you're going to be moving into further body paragraphs where you're going to be supporting your thesis with the elements of analysis that we have learned in class. So if your thesis is trying to tell the reader why Peter Menzel created these images, what his purpose is, and how they impact a reader, we want to support that with our thesis. So in some of the body paragraphs, you'll be using visual design elements. That's our focus, that's our white space. All of those categories, you want to use visual design elements to support your thesis statement. So you'll have a couple visual design element paragraphs, and then you will have some rhetorical analysis paragraphs as well. For these, you want to have at least 2 of the 3 rhetorical appeals. I would highly suggest using all 3, but it's not required for this assignment. So at least 2 of the rhetorical appeals should appear, and several of the visual design elements. After you've created a number of body paragraphs, we are moving outside of the 5-paragraph essay, so you should expect to write more than 5 paragraphs for this essay. So after we've created these body paragraphs, we're going to move into a paragraph discussing the ramifications of the images, how they impact a reader, and an important takeaway could be for the reader. And then we'll wrap up the essay with a conclusion. Once again, we invert what we've done in the introduction, so we have a reason thesis. Then we summarize our argument and analysis, and then leave the reader with a so what question or a big idea you want them to take away from the essay. These are the things we're going to be thinking about in terms of organization and structure. I'll be talking more in depth about this on Tuesday, of course, but I do want to give you some information here so that if you'd like to get a jump start on this essay and begin writing, all this is available for you. As always, if you have any questions, reach out via email. Make sure that you're doing the discussion board that's due this weekend, and I will see you all on Tuesday. Have a great holiday weekend.